Hi there, Virgo. This is your weekly reading for the week of November 23rd. I want to say thank you for your patience while we figured out which channel these videos would be uploaded to. As you probably have already noticed, my original channel, Rita Yanez, all 700 plus videos are missing. This isn't a problem with YouTube. It is not an issue with any of the Google products or services. They're fantastic. This is just something that happened as a result of another tool that I was using, kind of a situation where it fell into my lap and became the perfect thing to do a review on. And even though I love being a guinea pig if it helps other people, I didn't think I was going to lose all those videos. So with that said, I apologize for the confusion and or inconvenience, and here we go. The first card that you've drawn for this week is the Strength card, Virgo. This is a card that indicates that the best thing you can do at this time, no matter what the circumstances of your life are, is to do what you need to do. And if you can't do anymore, then don't worry about it. Just let it go. The Strength card is a card that indicates that it doesn't require brute strength. It doesn't require forcing issues or forcing someone's hand to get something done. This is a card about being in center with the divine creator, if you will, with your inner self and your higher self. This is an excellent card to depict what it's like to be a human in this day and age, in this place that we call the real world, because it shows me that you're connected to the divine no matter what. We all are. It's just that some people forget about it at times. They think that they're just down here suffering or struggling, when the truth is that no creator, no entity that could be so loving and kind to give us blessings and help us when we really need it would subject us to a hideous place. We're in the real world where everyone is walking around with free will. That, my friend, is what makes it interesting and sometimes annoying, if not challenging. So remember, you don't have to do anything more than be gentle, loving, and kind. Find your center. Keep your Zen moment going, and you're going to be just fine. On Tuesday, the card that you've drawn is the moon. Interesting that we're setting up for a full moon at 3 degrees Gemini on the 25th. So that's already happened. We're still in that period of being affected by it, which is up to 2 weeks anyway. Plus, this is like a really crazy full moon. It's in Gemini, opposed by Saturn in Sagittarius, opposed by the sun in the same location. So you know that square issues and having any kind of opposition makes it difficult to get our point across or even to be heard. So sometimes it's best to just not say anything, and this is one of those weeks. The moon card is also talking about the need to go forward even if you don't know where you're going next. Even if you're in the fog and you have to just put your foot right in front of the other, 1 foot at a time, it just means that you'll have to proceed with caution, but it doesn't mean that you have to proceed in a reckless manner. The moon card is a card that also indicates having to use blind faith or to trust your instincts and your gut reactions. I was saying on a different video that it's an analogy of like walking through the fog, just shuffling your feet very slowly, and then you wonder if there's a precipice at the end of this road or of the area you're walking through. Well, then get on your belly and crawl like an army man and keep your hand extended. That way, if there's a precipice, any kind of cliff or edge, you'll know, and you can sit tight until the universe clears itself up. And in this case, that's what the moon is helping us with, in conjunction with Neptune going direct and Chiron stationing direct as well. So remember, all things come to pass, all things clear up on their own. Your job is just to pay attention to the signs in the environment, and everything else will be just fine. On Wednesday, we have the Ace of Swords. This is the day that we have the full moon in Gemini at 3 degrees opposed by Saturn and also the sun across the sky. This is a card that indicates communications don't always have to be forceful, but when appropriate, state your intentions, make your opinion known. Remember that this is not a week, especially with the Thanksgiving holiday, that we can state our intentions or our opinions or even give feedback. There's always going to be somebody who takes it personally, so it really isn't worth it this week. On that note, the lunar nodes have changed to the axis of Virgo and Pisces, your solar first house of yourself, opposite your solar 7th house of Pisces, which is your friendships, your relationships, your close partnerships. These would not be the dating and friendly relationships that are ruled by the 5th house. These would be even close associations with business partners to family members. This is letting us know that with Chiron and also Neptune going direct in your 7th house, that even though some realizations in life are somewhat painful, they are healing. The universe never gives us anything that we can't work our way through while we learn whatever it is that we're learning. And let me tell you something. You guys know I see dead people. That doesn't mean that I know all the answers. That doesn't mean that I always understand what they're trying to say. What it means is that I trust the universe will give me the information I need at the time that I need it, or that the person I'm receiving information for will know what to do with the information that I've given them. With that said, even the most complicated situations, like a divorce, a separation, a pending divorce, a marriage that's become complex, the final result, which includes financial ramifications of former divorces and asset and debt division, don't have to be contentious. They don't have to be cantankerous. They don't have to be crotchety. Do the best you can to remain in a state of grace and peace, and you will see everything works out fine. There could be news about a real estate issue, something ruled by the fourth house, which is Sagittarius for you in solar astrology, opposed to the 10th house for you, which is Gemini. So that full moon up there at the top of your sky, giving you information about everything from your job, your career, to your pension, to your retirement, and or the thing you do that makes you happy that everyone sees you do. Maybe you're an artist and people know that about you, and it's very sensitive to you because it helps you maintain your home life, your private life, your personal life. There could be issues again with the real estate because the Sagittarius house hosting Saturn is telling us that it's time to finish up the things that we need to do, to finish up whatever these deals and negotiations are that have something to do with your home, the foundation, the situation, the environment that you call home at this time, because there's something that's trying to come to completion or fruition, just like a full moon will always do. Also, I want to remind you that there's a Leo new moon at the end of this month on the 30th. I want you to just keep in mind, we'll talk about it later, that Leo is your solar 12th house. So there's an opportunity to start to begin the process, however confusing or difficult it could be. It will definitely be cathartic. It might be something that you're kind of keeping secret or that you haven't wanted to really face or handle, and it will become time soon enough for you to set those wheels in motion to get those skeletons out of the closet if necessary to help affect the healing and finishing up this cycle, which is a pretty big and complete cycle. I mean, just for sure, you know, with everything that you went through in 2007, that if we have any shadow or inclination of the things that change, we learned a lesson about it back in 2007. You will emerge victorious, but again, remember, it does not require brute strength. It does not require fighting, challenging, oppositions, confrontations. This is all about you remaining centered in your truth. When you're confident in the truth that you are, the truth that you believe, it doesn't require religion. It doesn't require rules. It doesn't require boxes or pigeonholes. It only requires you standing in your light, knowing that you are a child of God, that your purpose, your place in this world is valuable, meaningful, and has greater lessons than we can always understand in this place, but they're coming to you. You will understand them. And even in time, other people will understand you. Even if you tried your hardest to get them to understand who you are and what you're all about, it doesn't matter because we can't force people to understand us sooner than they can. Whenever it's time for them to get where we're coming from, they'll get it or not. There's plenty of people walking around in this world that don't know whether they're on the ground, in the air, upside down, or hanging from a tree. They just don't know. It doesn't need to be you. On Thursday, we've got the King of Cups, which can represent a male who is either a water sign, i.e., Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or embodying these traits. I got to tell you that since he shows up in the upright position, there is a male who might have something valuable to say. This could be the way that you're acting. This could be the way you're feeling. This could be you achieving a new level of understanding. Being such a sweet and caring person already, the King of Cups is only going to enhance those qualities in you. The King of Cups embodies those water sign traits, like being very psychic, very sensitive, very intuitive. He's also the natural psychologist of the zodiac as well. And this could give you the idea that there could be somebody with a message that is very much worth it for you. And all you have to do is show up. Even if you don't know you're showing up at the right place or the right time, Keep in mind that during a time that we have a holiday like Thanksgiving or any other, somebody's always going to crack open a beer or show up with the alcohol, and then we get from having fun and toasting to redneck barroom brawling or saying things that we can't retract later. Keep that in mind. It doesn't look very obvious with you guys. I did have to say that to quite a few people in their readings, because what's the worst thing that you can add to the mix of family dysfunction, weirdness, tension, travel, stress, and showing up to eat a turkey? Is family dysfunction mixed with alcoholism. Not a good thing. Stay sober. As soon as anybody starts their bitch fest, decide that you're going to play the part of a person with extreme abdominal cramping and explosive diarrhea. They'll want you to leave. Pick up your little things, get out of the environment. But whatever you do, don't let yourself get pulled into any family dramas, any tense conversations, because it's just not worth it. These topics will dissipate rather quickly, so there's no sense in pushing pedal to the metal and getting Aunt Gertrude somewhere so pissed off that she picks up the cranberry sauce and stuffs it down her husband's throat. Friday, we've got the Nine of Pentacles upright. This is a card that talks about being balanced in yourself, not needing anyone or really anything to feel good about yourself. This is a card that used to have an archaic interpretation about a woman who's considered to be kept by her wealthy husband, or a mistress whose husband keeps her in comfort. That's not the way we read this card anymore, because anybody can embody these traits, but it isn't about being kept by anybody, in my opinion. This is about you feeling positive, centered, happy, and whole, all on your own, appreciating nature and the environment, appreciating your divine connection to elevated souls, such as those of the creatures, the birds, the dogs, the cats, all of these souls that operate on a higher level than we do, because they most certainly do. So this is a card that indicates that soon also, for those of you that have been experiencing difficulty finding a place to live, or living on your own, or getting rid of somebody that shouldn't be there to begin with, like a cohabitation, or finishing up with an adult child that needs to leave the nest because they're 35 years old and they're still at home, whatever it is that's for their best interest, it will be affected here, or at least you'll get the idea of it. Of course, this is, again, not a week to bring up difficult conversations, because we're already at a very delicate point with the Neptune-Saturn square being activated again and bringing up anxieties, fears, difficulties like confrontation, and even a defensive person or two. Keep that in mind when you're wondering what it is that you should do this week, that sometimes the universe says the only action you have to take at this time is no action at all. And that's the kind of week that we've got. Saturday, with the Knight of Cups in reverse, you need to be careful about people who approach you, bring something to you like a business opportunity or a great, brilliant idea, and they're not being very honest about what the ramifications of this idea are. Let me give you just a worldly example. Somebody comes to you and wants to get you to invest in their business, because if you buy all this inventory and help the upline, you're going to be a millionaire in about 5 minutes. No, this is not the right week for risky investments, get-rich-quick schemes, or investing in other people's pipe dreams. You don't have to give them your opinion if you think that they're being ridiculous. You don't have to say what you think if they're being unrealistic in their expectations for financial situations in their lives. Just nod and say things like a shrink does. I see. Absolutely amazing. Really? You want my opinion? I don't think I'm qualified to give an opinion at this time, because I'm still studying what's going on. I'm still looking at things from different points of view. Say something like that, some token psychology to get people to understand that without saying it directly, you don't want to offer an opinion. This is not the week to give your opinion. The Knight of Cups could also be a romantic interest, and it could be a former interest, but they definitely are not meaning to lead you in a direction of security. Their intention is to be the means to the end, and what they want is your rear end. Maybe what they're looking for is a good time. Maybe they're saying very cliche things to you like, I've been waiting for you all my life, baby. And you're like, yeah, right. You know what? In a New York minute, I show up at a bar and you think this is going to be real? Plus, don't date people who go to bars. Don't even get involved in the bar culture. There's nothing there good for you. Meet people walking a dog in a park, looking at a log, felling a tree, doing whatever it is that you naturally do. But there's only bad things that could come from meeting people in bars. No disrespect, no hate to people who love bar culture. Just come on, folks. Think beer goggles. It's really not the thing we want to have to look at in the morning and say, oh my God, this person is, oh Lord, what just happened? And then nobody knows because everybody was too drunk. On Sunday, we've got the Two of Cups upright, which is an indication that you do have somebody in your world, whether they're a relative, a friend, a lover, somebody you hope to have a relationship with, your spouse, your former spouse, your new spouse. There is a coming together here in the good spirit, in the hope and wish of coming together just as humans, on the same page, at the same level, even. Nobody fighting, nobody giving in, nobody being aggressive, no one having to be passive, no passive aggression. This is a great card for those of you that are looking for a new relationship, because if this person is coming into your world, it's not advisable, in my opinion, to start a relationship under these conditions for the astrology. Then think about it. Next month in December, we're going to be setting up for Mercury retrograde shadow. We don't start relationships there. Venus will be direct, I believe, all next year, 2016. Great year to make commitments to people if everything else is in order, but it isn't a good year at this point to finish it off by starting a new relationship. The energy is still convoluted. We're still finishing up the aspects that we've dealt with for some years, some of them that are brand new, some new systems that are starting here with the nodes changing signs and the eclipse season, which will now happen in Virgo Pisces axis. So it's not necessary. It's not necessary. If somebody loves you and they want to be with you and they're going to be there for you, they'll be there anyway. If you feel afraid that this person's going to run away or you're going to miss your moment to put a ring on it, let me tell you something. Being in a hurry is not a good idea anyway. If they really love you, they'll still be there. 3 months, 6 months down the line, your friendship will still be going strong, and there's no relationship that is ever going to be stable if a permanent and very secure friendship has not been in place for the duration as well. So remember that this is not a good week to bring up controversial issues. I would not bring up politics or what I think about any candidate for the next election, because you know why? We don't need to know why. This is about the spirit of camaraderie, not politics, not poisonous Fox News, and not people throwing up walls and borders to divide us further. At this point in life, this is all about getting closer together, being there for your fellow man, and remembering that no matter what atrocity some crazy people commit, there still are plenty of people in this world like you, Virgo, that are healing it just by being present at this precious moment in time. God bless and have a wonderful week. I'll be talking to you soon.